We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Just go to Indeed.com/Blue Wire right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
And we're back. Welcome to Pod Maverick presents Group Therapy. My name is Kirk Henderson. If you recall, I'm editor-in-chief over at MavsMoneyball.com. I run Pod Maverick along with Josh Bowe. We do these podcasts where you, fans, fellow basketball fans, come talk a little hoop with us. Those of you who are listening on the live show, there is a YouTube stream, a link that should be pinned within the chat. I want you to click on that and come join me. Tell me what your thoughts are on this game. Tell me what your thoughts are on the season, along with anything else that might be on your mind basketball related. If you are listening to our live show on Twitter and you want to join the show, send me a direct message and I will shoot you the link as well. All right. Coming up first, we got Brian, who is always here to help me kick off the show. Very much appreciate it. Brian, what's cracking tonight?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of just clicked the link just on reflex. I don't feel inclined to talk about that basketball team at all, man.
Sure, should we talk about something else? I heard somebody that didn't like Blue-Eyed Samurai and got really upset with them.
Really? What was even their critique?
Oh, just, there's certain people who don't like animation, and I'm just like, I don't like Scorsese movies half the time. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Did you watch the game tonight?
I did. I watched it from beginning to end, unfortunately. I saw that early lead that we got out to. Immediately tweeted midway through. I think by the time it was like a 15, 16-point lead, I said, they're making – well, no, actually, when the lead was still only 4 or 5, I said they're making everything. And the Bucks are not, and they're still only up by 4 points.
Yeah,
I know exactly what the script is on this game.
Right.
I tweeted that like 4 minutes into the game, and inevitably here we are, man.
I have a painful message to a Bucks fan friend that essentially said, "I can't wait to see how we blow this 25-point lead."
Yeah, dude. I'm tired, man. Like Josh played well on offense, and at this point, that's all I'm really expecting. The 3-and-D dream is dead, at least for this year. Maybe if he learns how to navigate a screen over the summer, we can, go into, because he looks good when he plays on the national team. So I don't think there's still some for him to work out there.
Sure.
But offensively, he's been fine the last few weeks, so I'll take that. We got the Maxey outlier game. I was in a group chat and someone said, what Maxey showed is encouraging. I said, no, what Maxey showed is something that should get him tested for PEDs.
I called it the proof of life game.
Yeah, that's precisely what it was. And so yeah, Maxey had a really good game. Couldn't capitalize on it. Very annoying. Luka, had a so-so game, like by his standards. Like he scored, he hit threes early on. He let the refs get in his head
He
a
had
little bit,
bad stretches that were very costly.
and he turned the ball over a whole
Nah,
hell of a lot. Like
yeah, 9
nine
turnovers.
turnovers.
Yeah,
God, that's so
yeah.
stinky. That's so stinky, dude. How the fuck did Grant Williams have 4 turnovers when he was barely touching the ball?
Well, he had that real cool one because he dove on the ground, makes a nice play to get the ball from the Mavericks, and then threw it to Jay Crowder. That was one of them. Jay Crowder had that behind the back pass to Damian Lillard for a layup. That was a really soul crushing moment.
Yeah, I hated
Then he
that
had
so
one in the
much.
fourth quarter that was basically a happy feet one from the 3-point line. That was just 2. Those are the first 2 that come to mind. He obviously had more.
Oh, when he traveled and then Luka looked like he wanted to murder him with multiple weapons on the other side of the court.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So that was fun. I'm at the point like early in the fourth quarter. I was just in the trade machine, just fucking around. I was like, I've got better ways to spend my time. I'm just because like people keep saying, let the team get healthy, let the team get healthy, dude. I don't give a fuck. They've had 50 games to get healthy and they're not healthy. I'm past the point of caring. Like fire Jason Kidd, sure, but if we're firing him, fire Nico too for the job he's done over the last like 3 or 4 years. He doesn't get out of this unscathed.
Sure.
Fire Michael Finley because I don't know what the hell he does. Fire Dirk too for all I care. Trade Kyrie. I'm just over it, man. I'm so over it.
Kyrie, so I want to get your take on something.
Sure.
I'm on record. There's audio of me saying this, so there's just no point trying to act like I, do the shit where I act like I was in on Kyrie all along. I was unhappy with the Kyrie trade rumors. I was unhappy with the Kyrie trade. I was unhappy with the Kyrie resigning. But at a certain point, you dance with who brung you. I've liked Kyrie's play. But I don't know. Do you feel, had he not said the night that he sprained his thumb that he was going to play through it, had he not said that, would you be as kind of like, do you think the fan base would be as angsty as they are with him right now? Because I think that is why everybody's super like, because he comes out and he's like, I'm going to play through this. It'll be fine. And then he hasn't played in 5 games. I think everybody's like, me as kind of a Kyrie skeptic, I think everybody's been really hard on him. What do you think?
I agree, and I do think that there are people who were mad specifically at that. I was gonna get to the point that I'm at right now. No matter what, he's missed so much time. He's been good.
He's missed 45% of the season.
He's been good for the most part when he plays. He's still like he's still gonna come back and have 2.
Yeah, he'll be good.
A shitty quarter to start the game. Both of the first couple games he played, and then we're gonna get the I've got to stop being so passive. That's not my character. Post game press conference after the third game when we go under
and then he'll
500.
score like 35 points. Yeah,
and then he'll get back on track. But like I'm just dude the injury, the ramp up, the freak injury again, the ramp up.
It's tough because they are all freak injuries, but at a certain point, it's like, damn, this sucks.
I'm tired of it, man. It's just adding up, and it's not like his fault. He can't control getting hurt, but. And then people on the timeline doing the Brunson thing again, and I'm like, dog, can we just I know that's why we're where we are, but can we just not?
Yeah.
Like one time, can we just like lose and be sad and say the team stinks and not come back to Jalen Brunson?
I had one national media member kind of get into it with me and be like, how much of this is Luka wanting everything for himself? And I'm just like, can you guys go fuck yourselves?
What?
I promise you he wants to win. If he didn't want to win, he wouldn't play on a Slovenian national team that has nobody taller than 6'7" on it. He wants to win. Winning is what is important to him. Not winning on his terms. Winning.
If he wanted to win on his terms, if he wanted to win on his terms, why would he look around at what he's seeing right now and be like, yes, these are my terms.
Yes, I love this. This is so great. I love playing with 32% 3-point shooter.
I love that the 2 of our starters should be starters, our minimum guys that we picked up like 3 weeks before free agency. And I love it. That's amazing. Don't you agree? Isn't that also amazing to you?
It's just I feel like we're all and this is why we do these shows, because we got my friend Captain Kyrie is going to join here in a little bit, who will probably have some delight. Henry will have great countering thoughts to this, and this is why we do these, because conversation is much better than typing, where everybody is a fucking keyboard warrior, including myself. I told one guy tonight who was like, "Your opinion is trash," and I'm like, "You fucking follow me. I don't follow you."
I was about to say, you literally had to be in here to see it. So that, and look, man, Captain Kyrie can come up here and kill me. Like,
no. It's this.
I don't even. I'm not even. I like Kyrie. I want Kyrie to succeed.
I mean, we need him.
Mad at Kyrie. It's just
this just doesn't feel good. It sucks.
No, everything feels bad, and I just want everything and everyone to go away. That's kind of the point that I'm at. I've hit the point that I was after the first Charlotte loss last year, where I'm just like, I don't until they do something. There's no reason to watch this team. And I say that I'm gonna keep watching.
As I keep watching every day.
Yeah, but I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna keep watching, and I'm gonna keep being depressed. And I'm gonna keep coming back and saying these things, because this is what's been happening for like a month now.
Well, I mean, there's just I don't know. I mean, Kyrie probably come back. You know, we're gonna have who do we play next? The Sixers. We have a string, just so everybody knows, just for like scheduling purposes, we have a string of beautiful timed basketball games. Mm-hmm. We have a 6 o'clock, a 6:30, and a 2 p.m. start time. I'm pretty sure of our next, like, just real stuff of magic. And I say that as a new dad who loves going to bed. So man, this isn't all that fun, but I'm glad I can talk about it with other people rather than reading through my timeline, because like with Josh and I had kind of an interesting discussion about Grant, and like it made me think about Mavs Fans for Life. Landon Thomas wrote a piece about Grant. And even in the headline, he said something about, I can't remember the headline exactly, but it's just talking about Grant's struggles and talking about how, this was the opportunity for Grant Williams to go from being a bit player to potentially like a real quality. He might have used the word superstar, but I don't want to put words if I don't remember the headline. But like talking about how Grant Williams had a real chance to become something here and still does. But it's like
for as long as he's here.
And then I think about this Josh Bowe tweet. Listen to this. This is brutal. The big Mavericks money offseason trade or free agent since Luka's rookie year. 2019, DeLon Wright. 2020, Josh Richardson. 2021, Reggie Bullock. 2022, Christian Wood. 2023, Grant Williams.
Oh, my God. And he's the first on Wood. Oh, God.
I mean, so it's like, and you just at a certain point, like, I don't like being this mean about Grant. Well, Grant Williams. I don't like. It's not fun. I don't want to be mean about our players. I mean, sometimes I do, but not like all the time.
Kirk, and the worst part about it is, and Josh said it too, most of those moves, and it's what gives me kind of like pause about even being optimistic about what they're doing in the future. Most of those moves we kind of liked at the time, except for like the JaVale one and. The JaVale one and like the DeLon Wright move, I don't think I was a huge fan of that one at the time. But otherwise, we were all like, "Hey, these are good little moves.
All right, work out." We're so stupid,
and none of them have worked out. And I'm just like, okay, so even I feel like even if they managed to swing like Kuzma and Gafford, and like they throw out that first, they throw out a swap, second salary, Jaden Hardy, whatever, and they manage to get him. I'm still in the back of my mind going to be like, okay, how do they possibly fuck this up? Because they're still going to. I just don't know how.
I know, man. Here we are. All right. Thanks for hanging out and getting us started. Of
course, dude. Thanks for having me.
Okay, we got 3 other folks waiting. We got Rain, who I'm going to bring up next, then Henry, then Brandon. Rain, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Rain, you there? All right, we'll give Rain a second. We're going to go to Henry. Henry, what's going on, man?
What's going on, boss, man? How you feeling?
I mean, I wish we're at the point in the season where I question why I do this.
It's therapy. It's therapy, man.
Not just the therapy, but like covering the games, because it's like I mentioned the fact earlier that like the Mavericks, and you were in that last show. I saw your comment where it's like the Mavericks have a 3-game win streak at the beginning of January, a 4-game win streak at the beginning of December. Like there's just no continuity in their play, and there's so many reasons for that, but it sucks all the same.
I can't I'm trying to remember the coach's name. I think it was like Igor Kokoskos or something of the sort like that. When him and Luka said in Euroball, almost every time up the floor, there's a set. There's a designed play for a designed outcome to happen.
Yes.
The difference, the Mavericks Q1 was a top 3 team in the West. I have not seen them play defense like this all fucking year.
Yeah, it was pretty tight.
And they actually ran sets. There were plays. It was I don't know what happened. It was flowing. It was defense. And then literally from 2 to 4, it went back to high pick and roll, 4 out, Luka ISO. I don't know what happened from Q1 to the rest of the game.
Well, in the fourth, they did start throwing that really, I don't want to call it unorthodox, but it's just like, I don't think Dame Lillard might as well be tissue paper as far as defense goes.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you had Giannis up there kind of like looking like a windmill in Luka's face. And he just kind of, this is where, having Lively in the middle of the floor, I think would have made a better difference. He would find Dwight a few times, but his best option in his mind was going ISO. And this gets back to what we've talked about to date. You've heard us talking. They don't do that if Kyrie's out on the floor. They really don't, because you got another option out there.
If I join the chat here, will this kick me out of here? Because I want to type with some of these guys.
I don't know, because I have to do this from my computer, and if you're on your phone, that's a different one.
Right,
You don't argue it. I got a great piece of advice the other day. Now, keep in mind, all my wonderful live commenters, I'm glad you're here. I had a friend of mine who does this stuff for like a living, basically tell me to not always over-index the chat.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. No, this is just like,
and I do that a lot because I like interacting with people.
No, I'm shouting out Jeremy Sinnott because he sees the Jason Kidd avatar, and then Maverick fans, so he's shouting out. And no, so I just wanted to shout out a couple of people, but
oh yeah, absolutely.
Did we okay, 2 things. One, can we acknowledge how shameful it is that Jalen Brunson got more help in his second year with New York than Luka has in 6?
They built a nice team up there, man.
Like
really
that,
built something special.
Actually insane. And again, I think I said it last time. Until Cuban gets rid of this buddy bros club shit with Jason Kidd. Again, Jason Kidd was a primarily passing guard. He is not the coach. It's nothing against him. He needs to be coaching a Trae Young, a Tyrese Halliburton, or someone that's more of a facilitator. He doesn't need to be coaching 2 scoring guards. It doesn't fucking work. That's number 1. Number 2, to the Luka stands on Twitter, bro. Most people are really good people, but some of the Luka stands who, with that little video, because Kyrie had a conversation with Dame talking about he's not committed, and they're probably trolling.
Oh yeah, but no, because Kyrie likes everybody. Kyrie goes and daps up every possible person. He's I just don't understand
how they're blaming Kyrie in this situation, because if Kyrie had 40 and 10 and they lost, it's, oh my God, look, he needs Luka. But now Luka does it, oh my God, he needs so much help. So it's the delusional Luka fans that actually piss me off from this fan club. I've never seen it so much. And again, I'm sure most of these are trolls.
No, it's not trolling, but it is kind of a level of frustration. And I do think that Kyrie is not, you saw the Stephen A. Smith thing this week, which
that was egregious. But then again, we know ESPN and Disney, we know the play.
Well, but that's kind of what sports talk radio does. I mean, I just kind of include all the sort of like throw out a fire take, let's talk about it sort of thing. And that's just it's just the nature of it. It's really it's so weird. It's so weird I know you're newer to our show, but like I'm usually the negative one. And so for my co-host Josh to be like, this feels like the Charlotte games last year is shocking to me.
So again, the guy that just left, I can't remember his name, but the other guy that came on first.
Yeah, Brian, yeah.
Okay, so Brian, when he said, let's say we got Danny Avdia and Gafford or Kuz and such, and you're still waiting for them to fuck this up. And I agree. Because I posted, I said, okay, we have a 25-point lead, 21-point lead. Watch we blow this shit. I don't think there's any true Mavs fan that actually thought that we were actually going to hold that lead. Did I think we were going to win the game?
Yes.
But I didn't think we were actually going to blow the fucking lead like that. So my thing is what can the Mavericks as an organization do to where if they make a move in the back of your head, you're not waiting for the rug to be pulled under you?
Yeah. Nothing right now. That's honestly why, like, I we're kind of getting into the nitty gritty, but that's what this show is for. And I'm not great about trade stuff. I don't like the fact that in order to be an NBA fan, sometimes you have to be an accountant. that also understands like trade spreadsheets and shit. And it's just not really what I like to do. I like to watch basketball. It's a wild concept.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure if they trade away their 2027 pick, that all that really does, it's like charging a credit card. You have to, the bill comes due. And I think if they move that 2027 pick, I don't think they can do anything of interest this summer.
I mean, they would have 3 first round picks this summer, right?
That's what I want. Do that.
Okay, so would you be okay with trading 1 now if we had 2 during the summer?
No, because I don't think you can, because those 2 at that point are so far down the road. I don't think they matter.
Okay. So you think those 2 are contingent upon this 1?
Yes. I don't know. See, and that's where it's like, I'm not great about this stuff. It's just, I want to have the ammunition to be able to go say, here's the cards that we have. Now, there's a lot of great points in return from that essentially boil down to, well, you don't know who's going to be available this summer. You know, Kyle Kuzma is available right now. Can you get a better person than Kyle Kuzma this summer? And let me just tell you that in 2024, it really hurts me on like a spiritual level to have Kyle Kuzma matter that much.
Yeah, I really don't want the Kuzma kick. That is disgusting. There's nothing that I've seen from him. Again, I wasn't a big Danny Abda fan until I saw Danny Abda's defensive highlights. I feel like him and Gafford would be the play, or we do PJ Washington, Nick Richards, and I think there was like one more thing in there too where I actually liked it. But another thing that I actually pointed out from the game that I feel like was really the turning point, or one of the many turning points, was when Luka didn't get that obvious call after Giannis completely fucking ninja'd him in the nuts.
Yes.
He didn't get that foul call. I feel like Luka's body language and mood switched for the worse. And again, we put so much pressure on him because he's 24, fam. He's still a kid. But someone has to let him know that when his body language and his mood changes, that leadership then trickles down to the rest of the team.
It's cascading.
Yeah, you can't do that. And it's hard for me to tell a 24-year-old not to do that. You still have to remember he's a kid.
But he knows it. That's the other thing. And that's what the Slovenian fans will tell you. He knows it. It's that not that we're not psychologists, but the 24 part of it does matter. And right. I really think that there's going to be something at like 28 where he's just like, I'm a different dude.
Oh, yeah. He's got to go through life. You have to go through some shit. You know what I mean? Like that Western Conference heartbreak, or, whatever you want to call it. I don't think anyone expects him to beat it, but you have to go through failure and fuck shit, and then you emerge out of it. That's the only way men grow, is through suffering. So I'm hoping that every breaking point in your life has come from some sort of pain or suffering or loss, every single time, for every man. So, but he has to stop the body language, bro. That rubs off crazy, like, and I really
head dropping.
Everything
like this,
the sulking, the running back slowly, making it a 4-on-5 for the enemy. Like, it's tough. He has to stop it. It's extremely tough play. And I'll end with everything I say every time I come on here, man. I want Jason Kidd fired by 11:59, so we got about 14 minutes to go. So, bring in Mike Budenholzer and go from there, man. But I've emotionally detached for this team. I'm gonna still watch them, but I've no longer invested in them the way I was earlier in the season. I just kind of watch it now. It is what it is.
Well, thank you so much for spending part of your evening with us.
See you, man.
All right, talk soon.
We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Just go to Indeed.com/Blue Wire right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
All right, coming up next is my man Brandon. Actually, no, Rain rejoined. Rain was in line. We're going to give Rain a chance here, Brandon. Give me just a second. Rain, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm just going to switch this camera off because I'm about to drive.
I understand. That's my favorite is when people are on this show driving, and I'm just like, guys, don't do that. Don't do it. But, hey, wait, you can listen to me. What's going on?
Well, I'm just at a point of complete apathy.
Ooh.
That might have to do more.
Did your audio drop, man? And Rain's having a hard time with the car. I've done this too, where it's like the car audio will kick you in and out between the Bluetooth thing. All right, Rain, I'm gonna have to bring you back up. We'll try again. Brandon, welcome back.
Kirk, you doing all right?
I am doing. I hear my wife upstairs with the 3-month-old, and he sounds really angry. And I'm wondering if I should cancel the show. But until she tells me to come up, we're gonna keep talking. So what's going on?
Waiting for that Kyle Kuzma trade.
Yeah. I don't know how I'll react to that, because Kyle Kuzma is a much better player than I originally thought. I kind of thought that he was like the Lakers bump guy, because like they do this with everybody, where it's like, if you play for the Los Angeles Lakers, you're fantastic. Yeah. And only problem is every guy that they drafted and played with for years turned out to be really pretty stinking good.
Yeah.
And he's another one.
He is another one, but man, I think it's going to take a little bit more than Kyle Kuzma to help this roster out, Kirk.
I think you're right.
But look, I feel like this. I mean, the roster is so injured and so up and down. I mean, trading past the midpoint, I feel like it would be useless. This is my opinion, especially with not knowing if, you get a player that you don't know is going to resign. That's lost value. And we've lost enough value over the years by just giving away money to bigs that don't really, contribute. Yeah. So I feel like it's a lost cause. So to me, I mean, you just have to, me being a Mavs fan, I would just have to face it that, this roster is not that good. The best bet is to go for it. This summer, the guys that, don't fit the culture, let them go. And, you have a pick, going forward, despite giving away the Knicks pick this year, it's one asset that we do have, as opposed to going, into the rest of the season with somebody that may or may not sign. And, Mavs have a terrible history of people walking away after 1 year. There's been plenty of examples, even with just role players, of guys going away. So I would just, run it back and just take my L if I had to.
Well, I mean, Cuban talked about this in a recent Twitter thread where, man, that man spends more time on Twitter than I do. But just he kind of kept referring back to the team health. Yeah. And I get why. I just want to see it. And, the top comment on my recap tonight at Mavs Moneyball is like, yep, another preordained loss after missing 3 starters. And it's just, it really is hard. Like, I don't think it's that reductive. It can't be, because these guys are NBA players and some of them are supposed to be pretty good. But that doesn't take away from the fact that, like, this just continues to feel real bad. Like, there's just, you remember in 2022, we went on that run, everything felt great. Mm-hmm. This felt so, it feels like a Wednesday at work that never ends.
The day that never ends. But, I mean, Kirk, it's so hard for these guys to, with the injuries and a lot of these guys being young, they really haven't had a chance to play with each other. They had a chance to play with Luka because he's always in the roster, and guys that's always playing, is really odd this year because Dwight Powell is injured and he's never injured. But there's so much turnaround. I mean, how many guys are really, and this is no knock to Luka, but how many guys are going to be able to develop around Luka? Shooting skills, ball handling skills, or just getting the feel of the game around somebody that's just ball dominant. And, I brought this up before that, he's good for helping guys, but them missing time and not being able to play with each other, I feel like that would have to definitely factor into not only the culture but the record as well too. So it's just circumstance. I feel.
Well, it's tough because there's not a lot of answers, and I don't think they're going to get any, which is why I just think at a certain point there needs to be, we need to hear about some players only meeting. We need to hear about something, some kind of accountability somewhere. The Mavericks are a little bit of a leaky ship. And we always hear this sort of stuff. Everybody hates Tim McMahon because he's the only one who asks any real questions night to night. But it's, I want to hear something like that where it's like McMahon comes out and says, well, I heard there was a team only meeting and they, beat Grant Williams with soap bars wrapped in towels until he cried, and then they realized they were going to play better. Like, I don't know, something ridiculous. I need that. I need that to inject some life into the season, because it feels listless.
It feels meaningless as well too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like these guys are just out there going with emotions, and I feel like with these guys being super competitive, if something doesn't give, then it can easily just turn into some type of internal rift to where they're not really on the same page because they're losing. Winning cures all ills, but they just keep losing becomes a part of the culture. Then I have to feel like there's going to be some type of finger pointing. And with the roster not being good at all, there could be a lot of finger pointing. And to me, the front office doesn't seem like the type that's going to go in there and, mediate or, kind of, I guess you could say, manage these tempers. So it can get bad fast, but.
And maybe it will. And maybe it will. I'm not to the point where my colleague Josh Bowe was, where he's just like, this feels like something that's gone off the rails.
Right.
Because they close out here. Let's just see here. I got the schedule up. They close out. They go Sixers, who won't have Joel Embiid. They have Brooklyn, who are a catastrophically bad vibes team. Then they go New York Knicks, who probably should beat the daylights out of us, but that just strikes me as a game that's going to be a great one. That's a TNT game. Mm-hmm. And then they play the Thunder, Washington, and then San Antonio before All-Star break. So that's 6 games. And that's 6 games, and they're only 3 games above 500. 3 games above 500. They need to win. They need to go split 500 for me. They need to go into the All-Star break above 500. That's my kind of line of demarcation.
And to me, that would be more of the priority than, any type of potential coaching changing or trade, because think about this. You're 3 games above 500. You're going into the break and you have these tough games and you have guys that's injured. Making some type of change would kind of shift the narrative to me, it would seem like it would throw off the chemistry. So I would definitely prioritize getting wins in before anything.
Well, on the deadline, and see, you'd think I'd know this because I run a website. The deadline is Thursday. So
it's crazy.
Yeah. So they'll still have games to play after that, because remember, we were all excited about Kyrie last year, where we went and then Luka was hurt. Luka got hurt trying to, I don't know if you remember this. He got hurt trying to dunk from the middle of the key against New Orleans. And then his calf was just never the same the rest of the year. So, oh goodness, you got anything else for us, Brandon?
Yeah, man, that's it, Kirk. But I look at it like this. I mean, they're the Mavericks. I've watched them a long time, and I've seen some terrible basketball. So just another season, man. I don't know if you remember Doug McCloud. That dude, if you don't, you're not missing.
I'm not quite old enough for that, but I know who he is.
Dude, he shot the most threes in one season. He was 33%. This is pre-Dirk, Doug McCloud. There's not a lot of highlights on him. Shout out to Doug, but man, it was bad. You got to think back to the Sam Dellenberg days, the Sagana Job, Jose Calderon. I mean, there's been so many names that's been thrown out that potentially could help the Mavs. Elton Brand, Eric Dampier. All these names have been out there for years, and the Mavericks have always been this 500 team. So what's interesting is Cuban has been there all of those years. Just like Jerry Jones been there for the mediocre Cowboys days.
Yep.
Cuban's been there for the mediocre, Dallas Maverick days. So at some point, he's going to realize that it's either cognitive dissonance or something. But, it's just who they are, and their roster hasn't changed. Their culture hasn't changed. So until there's a cultural shift in their front office, the only thing we could do is just watch the game and hope that they get better.
Yeah. No. Well, appreciate you joining as always, my guy.
Thank you, Kirk.
All right. Coming up next, we're going to try Rain one more time, and then Rain, it might not happen for you tonight. Rain, let's try the audio now.
Trying the audio again.
Hey, there we go. What's up?
Like I said, just complete apathy. As we all know, Kuzma's not going to make this any better. He might be an improvement over whatever we trade for him, but if Kyrie's out, Lively's out, continual revolving door of just players in and out of the hospital, nothing's going to change. I don't see the value in making any big swing moves, not that they really can or have the pieces to. And honest, I'm not here sitting tank. I'm just saying let the season be what it's going to be. Don't trade anything of value. And if injuries and the like just lead them to happen to being able to keep their pick, and that's just the way that the cards fall, then that's just what it is.
I like it. That's kind of where I am, because I don't want to give anything up of value, because nothing that's out there moves the needle. Not to be all, dropping really terrible metaphors, but improving from a team that can win 42 games to a team that can win 43 and a half games and giving up a first round pick to do so strikes me as like patently insane.
And I do genuinely believe that despite the records being very similar, this team is an improvement over last year. It is a very marked improvement over last year.
There were no answers last year. We know that there are things that work for this team. Last year, there was nothing that worked. They were healthy. I mean, well, moderately. Luka and Kyrie weren't particularly healthy down the stretch, but it wasn't like this where it's like, oh, well, here's our next 4 guys that are missing 10 to 12 games.
And not to pump the brakes on, I can't remember who it was, fire Kid. Okay, I'll be on that. We can get rid of Kid. Not the point of the year where this should happen. It's just not going to do anything. Something has to change with the culture of their team. Luka might bear some responsibility for this. I did hope that, and Kyrie has proven to be somewhat of an effective leader on the team. But the culture of the team under Kid, someone needs to be able to light a fire under these guys when things aren't going well. And he might be able to manage their personalities in the locker room, but he can't clearly manage them when they're on the court.
Yeah.
And I do think, not that this is going to happen, that next year there should be a change. And obviously, there should be roster changes as well. And I do think that what Nico did over the season, off-season, was an improvement. Now, could we have known that, I'm blanking on his name right now, because he's a blank on the court.
Grant Williams?
Grant Williams, there we go. Like,
that hurts.
Theoretically, he should have fit like a glove.
Yeah.
He's the type of guy that Luka could get paid. What does he do? Bit of 3, a bit of D. If you can do that, anyone who can do that should look at Luka and go, this guy's going to tick my 3-point percentage up maybe, 3-4 points. I'm going to get more wide open shots than I've ever seen in my life. I can look like a star on this team. Any defensive attention that I do draw is going to be highlighted even more, because I might be one of 3 guys on the entire bloody team that can defend to any degree.
Right.
But he's just become nothing. I actually was pushing for that in the off season, and now I can't even remember his name. It's tragic. But the rest of their moves, the Exum, I thought Derek Jones Jr. In the off season, I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Sorry, the apathy has subsided. I was thinking, what the fuck are we doing? This guy doesn't fit, and he's not as good as he was at the start of the year. But he's way outplaying his contract. Exum's outplaying his contract. Otherwise, I think the off-season moves were good, and Rome wasn't built in a day. So I feel like give him another opportunity in the off-season, and let's be honest, you can't really go changing out your GM every other season now, can you? But some things just have to change, but I don't see the point of changing them right now. Unless they're going to pick up Wiggins for, I don't know, like $3 and a candy bar, there's just no point.
Yeah.
It doesn't get us anywhere. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, man, I appreciate you struggling through and hanging out to talk with us, all right?
No worries. Have a good one, Kirk.
All right. Rain says he has apathy, but then he hangs out to join a live show for 40 minutes. So he's not that apathetic, and we're grateful that he joined. David, you're going to take us home tonight. What's going on?
Hey, Kirk. So you know how you said I always only go to good games. Well, tonight I was at this game. So it was the first quarter was the most fun ever because it was the maxi game for like the
Sure.
first 20 minutes. I'm just gonna hit a few notes that I don't think other people have already covered because I think there's
It's all right, man.
a lot of good stuff. So first off, the debate that we had earlier this week. Luca is definitely a better player than Dirk. Has not had a better career, obvious.
Sure.
We
Okay.
can. But the one thing that Dirk needs to help this young man with is his maturity, because it kills me. The guy is more than enough talented, and yet there was a whole defensive play with a baseline. I forget who it was, Chris Middleton or somebody just ran behind him while he was sitting there complaining to the refs in the second quarter about a no call. And like the amount of, if he can take the beatings, he can literally get his ankle broken by Giannis and teleport back to, I didn't even see, I saw him go to the locker right underneath where my seats are and then teleport back into the game 2 minutes later. And he can do that, but yet he can't contain his emotions on a non-call where he barely got Grays going to the rim. He's, if he can like button that up, I think that'll help. But our team just lacks size, man. Every time I've gone to one of these games,
Bucks are real big.
Yeah, it's
Giannis is an enormous human.
Yeah, Giannis is the idea that he's, we can. It's like the Tim Duncan problem. Is he a center? Is he a forward? Who the fuck cares? He's 7'8" and jumps out of the gym. He just. I thought he would be bully ball tonight from like within 5 feet of the basket, and instead it was just him running at the basket. I was shocked that people couldn't try and stay in front of him better, but he's extremely gifted. And when we're running a lineup of Powell and Kleba and Grant Williams as our bigs, those are essentially two small forwards and like maybe a power forward in Dwight Powell. Like we don't have anybody over 6'10". We're just not going to be able to compete in the NBA without another 7-footer. At least when we had Boban, we had somebody to mix things up. And tonight I saw Kidd, I think it was the third quarter, he subbed out within 30 seconds. He had subbed out Grant Williams, Tim Hardaway Jr., Maxi Cleveland, Dwight Powell, and then back again. Like he went back to it because he was completely devoid of options. So I don't even know like where to go right now besides getting healthy. But we're like, as Mavs fans, we're all expecting Dante Exum and Kyrie Irving to magically save the day. When really, like, Derek Lively having his nose broken, and you talked about going 500 these next few games, it's going to be brutal. Thank God Joel Embiid is going to be out, but like Victor Wembanyama is as bad as the Spurs are. Holy Christmas, we are going to get eaten alive in these upcoming games by every single big. I mean, this is going to be bad, y'all. Like brace for impact. We need to pray that Luka and the tandem shooting of all of these guards can get us through the next, I don't know, 30 quarters of basketball to like until we can get some size back. Because without Derek Lively, we have zero. Like if the Mavericks make any trade, I don't know who's out there. I know we've been begging for Capella, but anybody, we need a backup center like yesterday. We need somebody that can back up this team because there's nothing we can do. All of our defense is played below the rim. The only chance we have is playing some sort of zone, trying to get inside the passing spaces. And if it wasn't for Derek Jones Jr. tonight, we would have probably lost by 25. He covered so many gaps and caused so many tips and like errant passes in the first half and then again later in the second. It was incredible. And if it wasn't for Grant Williams making us, play 4-on-6, then, maybe we have a shot defensively. But like, yeah, that's really all I got to say. Like, I mean, obviously we got to get healthy. I don't want us to make a gamble trade, but like, it's sad. It's sad watching us like have the smallest lineup that I've ever seen night after night after night. And then couple that with this argument that we saw earlier about like who's the better player, who's the better career. I will say this, Dirk took accountability for the team and it is drastically missing Like Luka does everything that you want a superstar to do, except keep his focus where it belongs in game. I mean, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to, especially with bullshit calls. Like literally,
Sure.
Giannis kicked him in the stomach tonight.
It wasn't. Look, Lucas sold it a little. Like he did make, but Lucas sold that thing like he was like getting, like I used to sell fights with my big brother, where he's beating me up.
Oh sure, no, I mean there was also Luka just popcorn hand one out of bounds, and they showed the replay in the arena, and he obviously didn't even get touched, and he tried to like Euro soccer player injury to his face or something. It's like, no, bro, you just fucking coughed at the
Sure.
basketball. The idea that but Giannis, like I expected them at least to maybe say offensive foul on Giannis because he wasn't dunking it, he was throwing an outlet pass, and they didn't even wipe that away. And then of course on the other end, Tim Hardaway got bodied. Like he tackled him through the layup. Giannis did, and they didn't even call it. Like they just like, yep, that was a block. It's like, yeah, on his neck. It was the reffing was bad tonight, sure, but like the free throw disparity really wasn't there. We actually rebounded well. Like everyone hustled tonight, which is the sad part. Like we hustled hard. The turnovers and the sloppiness again were a result of those passes from Luka. A lot of them sailed, meaning that he's expecting guys to be able to jump higher. Dwight Powell, Maxi Kleba, and none of those guys could reach some of those passes. Part of that's on him, but part of that's on he's gotten used to having the luxury of an actual center. And if those guys are an inch or two taller, we have a slightly
Bucks are so big
lineup.
too. The Bucks put Luka in a bit of a blender today. I mean, 9 turnovers. Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, he was having some just handles issues around the perimeter, which were a little uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's my take is it's going to be rough these next few games because if Derek Lively can't get in there, I don't know what our record is without him. Somebody's probably got it on their laptop, but it's going to be brutal, Kirk. Like this team is too small night in, night out. We have too many guards. And as much as I love Tim Hardaway's season so far overall, like if we can get more size between him or Hardy, and that was the other thing. I don't know why he took Hardy. I felt like Hardy.
I do because Hardy takes when Hardy doesn't.
No, go
have,
ahead. I want your take because I could.
So basically, Hardy. When Hardy decides that he's going to make magic happen, nothing good happens. He took a step back jumper at the top of the key because he just can't get separation from anybody. And his best assets are when he's catching the ball on the move already and the defense isn't totally set because he's shifty enough. He's strong enough. He's athletic enough, but he's not particularly quick. And so what he'll do is he'll take a bad shot, but then he won't get back on defense, and you cannot do both. And Bobby Corrala pointed it out to me, and I've been watching it happen where he'll watch a shot a little too long, and then he'll get beat back. And that's just, it's tough. And Kid doesn't have the patience for it. And they should have turned to him again, I think, just because they need the minutes eaten up by somebody. But that was kind of why.
Okay. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. But again, it's like Kid, that limits your rotation to like more Grant Williams minutes. When there's definitely times where it's like, we need some offense in here and something to get our spark going. But yeah, if we don't have any more size, like I'm getting really nervous about the season. Like somebody, I think Brian to start this off was saying he had vibes from Charlotte. And I'm
sure
that was the end of the year last year for me. Is like that first Charlotte loss was catastrophic. I was like, oh no, this is like we are in full nosedive time. And at that point, it was like go all the way, get a pick, steal it from the Knicks, screw them. They already messed with Jalen Brunson, take it from them. I don't know what we do this year, but if we don't make the playoffs this year, or we're 10th seed,
it's gonna be rough. I'm not looking forward to that, but I still think they're all right. All right, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
All right. Coming up last, we got, I said David was last, but then we got another guest. Mike joined down below. I'm going to bring Mike up on stage. Mike, welcome to the show. What's going on, man?
What's up? Long time viewer, first time coming up here. I just wanted to get off that it's such bad basketball that it's just on another screen now. I don't even fucking listen to it anymore. I watch and I'm like, oh, I just have happy moments where it's like, oh, we're up like 26, nice. I saw Luka got like he hurt his ankle or something. I was worried about that, but he came back in. But it's so infuriating that I'm just watching The Wire and I'm just peeking at the game on a different screen from now on.
That's a better use of your time tonight.
It definitely is. It's like, what are we doing? I get that messed up about it, but then when I come in here and I see everybody else messed up about it, it gives me I go the other way. Now I feel like, I don't know, we have Derek Lively and Luka Doncic. When Derek Lively gets better, I feel like Derek Lively could be an all-star probably if he's this good in his rookie year. I don't know. I feel like this year is gonna suck anyway. Let's just make it to the playoffs. Like, we're a dice roll against anyone. I like the Timberwolves matchup anyway. Let's just get in. Let's be the 8th seed. Let's beat the Timberwolves. It's not that bad, guys. Put him on.
You've gone through the full range of feelings tonight, haven't you?
Exactly.
Well, what season of The Wire are you on?
I'm second. This first time watching it. I'm on the
season
second.
2. You're on season 2.
Yep.
Season 2 may feel like a slog.
It already does. It's like, what the
hell? You just gotta. What did Lester Freeman say in season 1? He says all the pieces matter. That show comes together, and you'll be like, "Oh, okay." So, anyway, sorry. As a white guy, look, man. As a white guy approaching 40, I have to talk about The Wire because it's the thing I did in my 20s, and it's just such a great show. Yeah, I think this is a positive note to end the show on because the framework is there, which is why I'm not down and out on the season yet. I like the take, Mike. I think this is a healthy take, and I think everyone should take it to heart. It'll be, and if it's not okay, then we can go watch something else on TV. That's
exactly. Put them on your second screens, guys. Let them. If they're bitching and complaining that they need to get healthy, then fine. Watch The Wire. Let them get healthy. Screw it.
Mike, thanks so much, man. Talk soon. All right.
Yep. See ya.
A great way to end the show, guys. This has been Kirk. I can hear my wife upstairs. She needs some help with the baby. Appreciate you hanging out with me for almost almost 100 minutes again tonight. Everybody be good. We'll be back on Monday night. 2 or 3 early games in a row, like I mentioned. So we'll hopefully have talk a little earlier in the evening. Everybody be good. Go Mavs.